Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I feel compelled to make this video because I just want to make clear for a whole lot of reasons that, look, I'm a lawyer who is a parent who happens to be a former federal prosecutor, and, I went through the system at the family court and was completely aghast at what I saw. And the things that are just simply wrong, and I don't know how else to say that. I certainly would have been interested in my old job. The integrity of the system, we cannot ask people to have any confidence in it. And I saw that other people understood this over time, and I saw that most people weren't in a position to speak out and speak up, and somebody was going to have to. And I made the decision to do that, and I made that decision eyes wide open, knowing that I would take some hits. And I did that in many forms and fashions, but one of the ways in which I did that, and also defended myself from the absolutely unreal targeted retaliation that I've received, and the campaign that goes on every day, anonymous hate notes to all my friends and family and professional partners, to defend myself by speaking about this on Facebook. And I made a bunch of videos. And I put in those videos ample examples of the kind of thing that, it is what it is. I put it on Facebook so people can judge it themselves. Clearly they have. I don't think there's anybody that really doubts at this point that things that are absolutely fundamentally wrong, very seriously wrong, go on routinely at the Katy County Family Court. Clearly my case is not exceptional. It has not been about me. It hasn't been about my cases. It's been about using the cases and my opportunity to create and document this kind of thing as one way of making and proving a bigger point, which clearly is way bigger than me, judging from all the people that have reached out and have been just unbelievable in their support of us standing up for what's right. And those engaging in this kind of thing, and occasionally those people's names have been used because their name is on the things that document and prove the corruption. Occasionally people's names have been used. I have sought to avoid that. At the same time, I think it's a fair point to say, if you don't want your name associated with things that are plainly wrong and against the rules, then don't do them. I have made videos at times that have spoken rather harshly and intentionally harshly about what I think and what we ought to think and what everybody thinks and what the law thinks of repugnant, unlawful, defined as not in accord with the law, behavior that is very serious and it hurts a lot of people. And I have done that intentionally for the purpose of making the point, reflecting the fact, I think correctly, that this is very serious stuff that ought to be dealt with harshly, and we ought to have no patience for it. I have not threatened anybody with any kind of physical harm. Not only that, I've gone out of my way in all of the videos as a whole to make clear that we're not about that kind of thing, that we, Katy and I certainly don't support physical harm or threatening, physical harm or anything like that, violence of any kind, anywhere, anytime, any place, but especially with this stuff, especially against private actors who happen to be attorneys, and especially against court actors. Going out of my way to make clear that's not the case. In any particular uncontextualized segment or excerpt from a video that anybody wants to point to and to suggest that that is something that caused them to have a legitimate fear, for their personal safety is very simply, with all due respect, not only ridiculous and completely unbelievable given the context and circumstances, not only outrageous given that the subject matter of the video was itself an undeniable example of rank public corruption in violation of a ton of rules and which victimized the public. It's not only outrageous and ridiculous, it is in fact very transparently an attempt by those who have been caught time and time again with their hand in a very serious cookie jar by me and frankly Katy in the form of the documents and the other things that we've put right here on Facebook. Those people caught red-handed time and time again, who have, in one instance, in the case of the judicial staffer, engaged in this without the knowledge of the judge, almost assuredly, and I've always taken pains to make sure that I have no evidence to suggest that he knows about any of this going on. In fact, that's the whole point. They've doled out favor after favor on the sly, off the record, to certain attorneys, and that this is, this is the nature of the system, and that person has used court orders in retaliation against me for speaking up and out about what's going on. In some cases, being so excited to blow me up as a human being, releasing court orders at a time when, by virtue of the date on the very order, the most important order in my entire case, in one example, which was then circulated to countless people anonymously across northern Kentucky with a hate note attached to it, referencing the things that I say in the videos, which they claim are lies and have to be silenced. I get why they feel like I have to be silenced, because what I'm putting out here is truth, and you don't have to believe me. We put the documents and all this stuff on Facebook. It's damning. It's on its face. It's not up to me what consequences come to these people, if any, but it is absolutely the kind of thing that typically, warrants consequences. It's corruption. It victimizes the public, and it's very, very, very seriously, deeply wrong. And I just happen to be uniquely situated, going through the system, to recognize it and do something about it, and I felt a responsibility to. It is these people who are twisting these things intentionally and ascribing meaning to them that I plainly did not mean, to shift the focus off of their own unlawful conduct that is very serious, which the public clearly recognizes, judging from the volume of supporters and encouragers in our camp, and to seek a refuge, as every great perpetrator does, ultimately out of any defense that could possibly be mounted, and none's been offered about these things, to claim victimhood for the purpose of skirting responsibility for their own conduct. It's transparently what it is. So I make this video to point this out. I make this video to make sure that in the crazy event that it could ever be said that anything I've said in any videos, but most especially the one that, about the email string, which showed, that private actor getting from the judicial actor, asking for a special favor, being given that special favor, something that was not warranted, not lawful to give, and could not be given by that actor anyway, without the knowledge of the one person who legally could. That's what that is. No one can say to the contrary, and it's plain as day. The people engaged in that, in the video that I made as part of a bigger post where I published that email string for the public to see, in which, to my estimation, judging from the reaction, the public well understands is highly unlawful conduct. The people engaged in that would suggest that in some way, shape, or form, at any point in that video that I, threatened them with physical harm, which is ludicrous, and I clear that up right now. I think it denigrates the many victims of this type of behavior by those two actors. On other occasions, to dignify for 1 second the idea that the perpetrators could be victims, and to make clear as well that no one needs to fear anything from me, man. We've made clear we don't believe in that kind of thing. So, appreciate it. Thanks.